Good morning. Good morning, thriving warriors. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 6:29 a.m.
Great. Okay, Google, what's the date?
It's Saturday, February 4th, 2023.
Okay, Google, what's the weather?
It's 35 and clear. Today, it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 65 and a low of 35.
Okay, so that's about a 30-degree temperature swing today. And we are here at Department of Career Services at Thriving Warrior, where our goal is simple: to help you get from where you are, from point A to point B, to someplace better. Good morning, Greg. Always good to see Greg. We're going to talk about what Greg and Jeff did yesterday. Another mission of mercy. Interesting to see how it ultimately turned out. We'll talk more about that. But this is the intro to what we do. We are here to help you get from point A to point B, where B is better. We do it through a series of breadcrumbs like this podcast, but the real breadcrumbs, the 8 breadcrumbs, are down below in the description. Time is racing, so I'm not going to go through them, but they're really good, powerful breadcrumbs to help you get from point A to point B. Okay, now let's get ready to rock and roll. So in order to do that, we need 3 things. Coffee. So I'm pouring my coffee from my French press into my massive coffee cup. I should do it like that, my massive pot coffee cup. Whoa. With MCT oil, my pen, and paper, notebook to write with. Boom. So you got to get ready, because if you don't remember it, it doesn't really help. The goal is to remember what we learned, to have a plan, execute the plan, remember what we learned. Okay, right. Good system. Now, next breadcrumb along the way, it's simple. You want to get from point A to point B, it's simple. Focus on what's in your control. In Stoicism, there is a first premise is there are things you can control and things you cannot control. Don't let the things you can't control bother you, because you can't control them. Just focus on the things in your control. Next, I am so happy and grateful now that what? So write down, what is it that you're happy and grateful about? Ask yourself the question, what am I so happy and grateful about? I'm going to say Greg and Jeff starting us on new path. Greg and Jeff starting us on a new path in our Las Vegas housing. I plan to go down there today. Hopefully Jeff will be available. I'm delivering Morgan the Borg, call sign Morgan Borg. Delivering Morgan down there today after he gets his haircut. But this is a new path that might lead to more, better controlled housing for our people down there. So that is it. So happy and grateful now that Greg and Jeff got us started on a new path. Thank you, Greg. Thank you very much, Greg. It's really refreshing to have something done that I didn't have to have anything to do with. I think this is kind of one of the first times in the history of our that I have not had to do, I didn't have to do one thing regarding the move. Well, maybe just one little teeny thing, but that's it. So good. Thank you, Greg and Jeff. Thank you, Greg and Jeff. Okay, we're 5 minutes in. Next, Okay, and we did our It's Simple breadcrumb. We did our I'm So Happy and Grateful breadcrumb. Today's motivational video, I did not post. I posted one that's on Stoicism. The motivational video had to do with the ACE test, which I think we should have everybody take and just do tally marks on what there are 10 areas of childhood trauma. People who have 6 of them are almost 5,000% more likely to have serious problems in adulthood, including a lifespan of 20 years less. So there is a remedy to that. But our main concern, the main concern here is that we don't make it intergenerational. Because it turns out most of the people who score high on the ACE test, their parents scored high on the ACE test, and their parents, and as far back as we could imagine, because life is hard. Life is hard. That's what all of the religions tell us, per Jordan Peterson. Okay, so I think we'll have everybody do the ACE test and just count off the number of things. So now this is probably greatly much of why I am the way I am. If I don't take care of it, my lifespan will be about 20 years shorter, and that will have much more disease and problems. So it could be the case that looking at people over the age of 50, over the age of 60, saying what kind of shape they're in, might be able to tell what their life was like when they were pre-10, before the age of 7, how it was when they were growing up. Et voila. So figure out what is the cause, how do we now fix it, how do we prevent it from happening again? Boom, mic drop. Think. All right, so that's the memes for today. TED Talk is the movie The Gray, little short like stories of old on the gray, but it's really about Viktor Frankl. It's a continuation of Viktor Frankl, and it's about how do we keep going in life despite having nothing to go for. And Viktor Frankl says it's the search for meaning, where life asks us, what is the purpose of your life? We don't run around moping, my life sucked. No, life asks you. Asks each of us, not you, asks us, what is the purpose of your life? And guess what? You get to do it. And here the metaphor would be building a table. But your life is like a table. But like any table, it has to be built on a solid foundation. And the table we have is built on a four-legged table. Very sturdy. And you can imagine if 3 of the 4 legs are sturdy and 1 isn't, you put all of the weight, you don't put any weight on where that 4th leg would be, right? Now, what happens if you have stuff on your table and 2 legs collapse? Wham! Probably everything on the table is going to slide off, and everything that you worked for is going to be gone. The more solid the legs of the table, the more weight the table can bear. The more things you can do, the less likely anything is going to go bad. What are the 4 legs of our table? Physical. You have to be physically in good shape. So that's health and fitness. Take care of your body, take care of what you ingest. Turns out on the ACE study, the results, one of the coping mechanisms for early childhood trauma is overeating. Wow. Smoking. Wow. Drugs. Wow. Those are coping mechanisms because of the underlying pain. Okay. So physical fitness and health is one leg of the table. Another leg is mental. You can say there are 3 stages in life: learning, earning, and yearning. Everybody goes through those stages. And it pretty much lines up directly proportionally right on the line. The more you learn, the more you earn. If learning is on this axis and earning is on this axis, the more you learn, the more you earn. Yes, there are exceptions. But generally speaking, the more you learn, the more you earn. And the more you earn, the less you learn, because money gives us the opportunity to do more. That's it. Money just provides the opportunity to do more. So if you have more money, you can do more things. You can learn more, do more, experience more, etc. And of course, our goal is to get you to see the best thing to do is to provide service to others. So if you have a lot of money, act such that everything you do matters. In other words, don't do frivolous things. Act such that everything you do matters, and service to others, help other people. Meaning and purpose. Okay, four-legged table. If two legs collapse, bam. Okay, next leg. So physical, mental, emotional. If you can't control yourself, doesn't matter how much you know, doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in. If you're mentally, emotionally fragile, or if you're hard like glass, but somebody knows where to put the exact right amount of pressure at the right point, bam, shatters. There are tools. I have one somewhere. There are tools that are just designed to smash glass. You just a piece of metal that's pointed, looks like a pen, bang, boom, there goes the glass windshield, or there goes the car window. You need to be more like leather, not glass, more like leather, because what happens with leather? Leather can take a beating and keep on going, and the more it takes, the better it is, right? In the beginning, it's stiff, then you get it so it's nice and supple but firm and protects you, and it really feels good. So, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. What is the purpose in life? So Viktor Frankl would say the purpose in life is find the meaning in life for you, to pursue meaning, search for meanings. Man's search for meaning. Here, it's teaching a spiritual foundation. Jesus Christ is the Savior. And Jesuit priest Robert Spitzer has some good videos about proving that there is a God through a cosmological approach. A. B. If there is a God who created the universe, then he probably likes us and cares about us. And there's some reason to put us here, that something happens after we experience this thing. We go somewhere else. And so the next thing he has a good examination of is people who've had near-death experiences, what they report. And there's some interesting studies now, validated studies, verified studies of people who've been blind from birth, having near-death experiences, describing things that happened after they were clinically dead, and having the ability to see things, which would be really hard, in fact impossible, in somebody who was born blind, because they don't have the idea of seeing. They don't have those things in their brain. So, and then the third thing, from the third attack, so there is this God that created the universe, and he loves us, and he wants something to happen after we die. So here's some proof that our spirit does continue after we die. And it would make sense that he'd send somebody down to help us, or people down to help us, like Jesus. And then scientifically, it could be that the Shroud of Turin was actually the burial cloth of Jesus, as partially claimed. And then chemical analysis of the Shroud of Turin has some interesting things that don't really happen to dead bodies, nor human bodies. They, like spontaneous nuclear combustion type of thing. So, spiritual. So those are the four legs of the table: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. That if you have those, if they are solid, now you can build a solid table from which you can do a lot of other things. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do. But if you don't have four solid legs on the table, you got a wobbly leg here, put too much weight on it, and it will collapse. And then whatever was over in that area of the table, or maybe everything on the table, slides off. And now you have to start over. So let's focus on the legs of the table. That's what we do here, 1456. Let's quickly go to Seth Godin. He's got a good one. No photos. No photos. That's what it said at the florist shop. I'm guessing because taking a photo sometimes feels like a taking. The creativity, skill, and effort that goes into making a distinctive arrangement might feel uncompensated when someone simply takes the work and posts it. Right. That misses the real point, though. Once you've made something worth photographing, having the idea captured and spread helps you. It doesn't hurt. More than ever, people are paying for famous, even if it's as prosaic as a famous bouquet produced by the originator of the design. The hard part is making something worthy, not protecting it from cameras. Cool. Okay, thank you. Once again, Seth Godin. Table Apex Predator, we're getting close to 16 minutes. Navy SEAL Maxim, yesterday was the only easy day. That's the next breadcrumb bleep along the path. Yesterday was the only easy day. How are things for you, Diana? How are things for you? You act such that yesterday was the only easy day. That will help push you up, further up the hill. Good. Yesterday was the only easy day. Yes, but how are you? Charlene is at work. Perhaps she's listening to this as she's opening the store, the French pastry store, the French bakery store. Good. Diana is good. Okay, 1647 in. Last breadcrumb. Just remember, if you're still here, that means God isn't through with you yet. So if Robert Spitzer is correct that the universe was created by a God who loves us and has plans for us after we experience this, what we call reality, let's do our best to make the most of it and help other people. So with that, good, staying focused on schoolwork. Great, Diana. And can we have an and cut? Hello, Lamont, if you're out there. And cut. Good. Excelente. Good. Oops. Boom. Oops.